Content warning. The following episode contains descriptions of drug use, body dismemberment, and violence towards children that may be triggering to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome, wayward souls, to another exciting episode of Top Hats and Tombstones. I'm Cameron Holt, I'll be your game master for the evening. I'm joined by the positively charming Arcana crew. Oh. Give them your best, Arcana crew. Oh. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Tell us in the chat or in the comments which of our survivors you don't think will make it to the end.
Hey.
Matt.
I have the lowest flight. It's true. I only got a D4.
Also, we keep sending him into battle.
But you have the highest.
Or getting pushed down.
I was going to say, you have the highest fight, so really all you got to do is fight back, and you've got better chances of surviving.
I mean, that's what I've been trying to do for the most part.
So we find ourselves in the evening within the St. Clair Manor home at the foot of the mountains on Thorncroft in Thistlewick. Adelia and Nurse Blair have roomed together for the night in Lady Adelia's room, and you find yourselves there. It's actually early in the morning as the sun is just cresting up. You guys are just now getting rest from the night before, and the exhaustion is really starting to set in as the two of you find yourselves within the manor home.
I'm gonna pop the cork on the wine.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just sleep on this side of the bed.
Ooh. What happened to Dr. Bithers?
Who?
Dr. Bithers.
Oh, him. Yeah, he got the worms, I guess.
When?
I don't know, you were there.
When he contracted the worms.
Oh. I don't know. How does one even do that? Weird. Okay, good night.
Were you with him?
When?
At any point.
You mean during the Luminara festival?
Listen, I should be very clear. I'm glad he's dead. But what do you know about it?
All I know is that he,
You
lost
look
his
sweaty.
fingers. Rude.
How do you lose his
Rude.
fingers?
They got bit off.
By what?
A person who bit his fingers off.
A person bit his fingers off. Octavia sets her gun on the wall,
Oh, good,
closes the door behind
boy.
her. Well, yes, thank you. This is a bit of a fun ladies' night, isn't it?
What is it with you and ladies' nights? What
We've never had a ladies' night.
No.
Same.
Oh, well, it's positively charming. I've had a number of ladies' nights.
What do you do?
Well, all sorts of things. Depends on the ladies.
Where'd your clothes go?
She's taken her bear fur coat off and put it on a hat rack in the corner. And has like undone a couple of buttons on her blouse. She's like plops down on the bed, a glass of wine in hand.
So, seriously, there are so many other bedrooms in this house.
I know that he had other plans during the Luminara festival, and that's why he asked me to perform a public lobotomy that he'd already signed up for. What were those plans?
Why do you ask me? I'm not his personal assistant.
I don't know, because you've been acting weird since it came up.
Who bit his fingers off?
And how'd you know they got bitten off? He never said it.
He shoved them in a dude's mouth after he was trying to bite somebody else.
Oh.
I
Where?
don't know.
When?
We were
Perhaps
just-
one of those wigglers.
Exactly. Yes.
Alright.
Oh, that's. Do you think that's how he contracted the disease? Do you think it could pass through perhaps the saliva or the teeth?
Through the teeth.
Yes. Are there little channels in the teeth that lead to the brain or something? I'm not much of a.
That's not really
Medical woman
That's not how
myself.
the teeth work.
Oh. I assumed they were like straws.
Like vampires or something?
Yes, I've heard tell of these vampiric monsters that suck the blood of others. I presumed that they puncture their necks with their teeth and then use them like little straws to suck the blood up.
That
Is that
sounds
not
about right.
Yeah, right? Isn't
What
that
do you
correct?
think about how you drink anything? What? Anyway, so were you together? Did you have plans together? You and Dr. Bithers?
Oh, I'm not like with Dr. Bithers.
No, I don't mean nobody would ever do that. Nobody would do that, I'm convinced. But were you in the same place? What were his plans?
What are you trying to get at?
I'm trying to
This
figure
plan?
out what happened, and also I'd like to know every detail of how he finally miserably died.
Well, you were there. You
Right. So, my hope is that if we can nail down every sighting there's been of one of these little wiggler guys, we can maybe figure out what happened, how it started.
well,
So for me, this man wanted a lobotomy and I said no, and then he ate a woman's face. So that's how and Ezekiel also, he was there. That's how that happened. But I'm not really sure what the catalyst was.
right. Seems like a bit of an escalation.
It was big, for sure it was big. And yours, had many people been bitey? Or was it just one also bitey man?
Well, just it started with one, and he bit another one, and that person became bitey as well.
Immediately.
Pretty quickly.
But Dr. Bithers didn't.
No, actually.
That's weird.
Make a brains check. I'm going to call this a difficulty of 7 based on what you witnessed at the Luminar Festival as well.
9.
Trying to put these pieces together, you get the sense that it might have something to do with where the person is bitten. Because the change happened in the woman who Cranston Bray attacked almost immediately, and he had torn off a piece of her face. He had bitten into her cheek. Dr. Bithers was bitten at his hand. And you know that the strange stalks come out of the eyes, so it may have taken some more time for whatever this infection is to spread from the extremities to presumably the brain or the eye region, rather than the person that Adelia saw who got bit on the neck, or the woman that you saw get bit in the face. There could be a variation in incubation period based on location.
That's the phrase I wanted. So I wonder, given that, if it spreads through saliva, teeth. Perhaps if somebody is bitten in an ideal location, perhaps we could just separate them from that piece.
It's a gruesome idea, but possibly.
We could certainly keep it in mind in case any of us get bitten at that factory tomorrow.
So, tomorrow we'll just make sure to let everybody know to maybe try, if you're gonna get bit not in the face. Keep the bites away from the middle.
I mean, that's generally good advice all around.
Also, do you
Arms
have
and legs
any
only.
outfits that aren't voluptuous?
Nope.
That's gonna be difficult for you. Could we just remove some padding?
You don't have any sort of any gear for horse riding?
Oh, yes, I suppose.
Can I look around for her horse riding? Where?
In the horse riding attire, you would find it's still a dress, less padded, but there are trousers that are like a separate piece.
This could be good. That way at least you won't get caught on anything.
It's a lot of fabric to be grabbed if there's any groups of them.
Also, canonically, the butt's all real, right?
Yeah.
I do have a lot of jungle shock, as they say. But then again, the more fabric that they grab onto, the more there is to tear away.
That's true.
Easy escape.
Maybe keep a pair of scissors on you just in case.
Always.
Oh,
Just one of the
On the
many
chain.
chains.
I can't make sense of anything on the end of those.
You get used
The
to it.
needle, a thimble.
Yeah, she just
Scissors.
starts going through it. Keys, notebook, fountain pen, scissors, sewing kit, watch, whistle.
Did you say no?
Whistle? Yes.
Gun.
Oh god, that'd be such a good gun holder.
The whole time there's just like a shotgun on the end of one of them.
MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
Well, time to hunker down. And I will just lay in her bed as though I live here.
Excellent.
Oh, dear.
Octavia lays on a horse skin rug.
No,
Is it like a dappled horse? Or...
I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a
the
fainting
face is still
chaise.
present.
Ah, yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's like a bearskin rug.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, I don't like it. Oh,
That's what I was. That's what I was picturing.
No.
It's been taxidermied with the skull still
Googly
inside.
eyes.
Is this like a George Costanza bearskin rug situation? Wait, was
Yeah.
he on a bearskin rug?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Except it's a horse. One of those curly-haired ones.
my favorite childhood horse.
Oh, so you did that?
Yeah, it's the best way to keep them around. something to do in their memory.
Meanwhile, we've got Cecil and Ezekiel in their own room, as well
Are
as
we sharing a room?
Sure, why not?
Right.
Yeah, the Sootlings
Boys'
kind
night.
of
Yeah, boys' night.
the Sootlings kind of assigned you guys rooms, and again, they are standing guard outside in case anyone tries to get up to any shenanigans.
Weird that there's exotic dancers here.
Yeah, we'll say they put Ezekiel and Cecil together, and Dr. Angus is with Lord Byron in a separate room. Do you guys get up to anything in the evening before finding your rest?
I'm gonna
Copious amounts
bathe
of cocaine.
because there's been a lot of exertion today, and I'm probably sweaty. If there's a bath available,
Yeah, you are led to one that's been filled with warm water,
sweet.
and
Just from the other room, I'm like,
I would have accepted.
Cecil,
the-
my man.
You just walk in.
Just open a bottle of wine and I walk in.
Yes.
Nightcap?
Sure.
It's been a long day. Very, very happy we ran into you, though. You seem very formidable.
Ah, well, I appreciate that, and likewise, I wouldn't have survived all of our encounters if not for you.
Same.
Shitpants Boris is like perched on the vanity counter like a gargoyle.
I hand him a glass of wine.
It's pretty good.
Boris, have you seen any of these wigglers firsthand?
Yeah, lots of them. On the way here. It's like they started grouping together, travelling in packs.
That's not good.
It's kind of good though, because you're less likely to just run into, a group of like 3 or 4 of them. You hear them coming.
Yes, repeating their nonsense.
Yeah. We lost Bogwash because we was travelling through the crypts and came by one of the exits. We heard somebody saying, "Help me, please help me." We were like, "Oh, we should probably go help them." So we went out, poked our heads out. Bogwash saw a lady who was laying down in the street and kind of like dragging herself with her arms. And she was just going, "Help me, help me." And he got there, she looked up, her eyes was already bugged out. She was just saying, "Help me," over and over again. Grabbed his leg, tore it straight off. I ran.
Oh, so he's probably lost, and if not infected by now.
He probably bled out after his leg got ripped off, yeah.
No, that's Very sad to hear.
Yeah.
You know, I have a soft spot for you sootlings.
Yeah, like 4 more came out. As she had his leg, grabbed the other side of him, it was like a wet wishbone.
Goodness.
Takes a sip.
Wet wishbone.
It's a bogwash.
It's a bog wash.
Pour one out for bogwash.
We hardly knew ye.
Not at all.
We only knew you via anecdote. just now.
Cecil, you sadly, quietly finish watching this.
So, Ezekiel, what led you here from Libertalia?
To be honest, I owed some people some money. I need to get out of town.
Ah, I see. A business decision, then.
Call it that.
I can respect that.
So, the whole eye stalk thing, it kind of reminds me of something.
Tell me.
So, obviously, I know my way around snails, but,
Ah, yes, snails do have the wiggly eye bits. Do you think there's a connection?
I hope not.
Do you think these people are becoming snails?
No?
You think they're like were snails?
Yes.
Should we watch?
He makes his way to a window and pulls a curtain, looks to see like what phase the moon is in, but it's the daytime. He's like, all right.
We haven't seen any shells forming on their back. Perhaps they're more like slugs. What is your concern?
Everything.
There.
Do you mean? Have you seen snails with eyes that wiggle like those?
Yeah.
Because like a snail's got.
It's a parasite.
Huh? What's that? How many sights is in a pair?
2. Pair of sights.
I've got a pair of
Coming
sights right here.
The puns.
Sooty Jack. He's only got one sight.
Who was that? That only has the one?
Sooty Jack. One of the officers. He's only got the one eye. But I reckon the rest of us got a pair of sights.
So to speak.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any connection. I surely hope not. But
Are you suggesting that your snail-based concoctions may have led to this infection?
I would never.
I'm not blaming you. I was just wondering where you were going with it.
I'm just worried. No. Also, usually, like, the things are used to attract birds or something, right?
I don't know. Eyes? Eyes attract birds?
I know birds go after worms, but I'm not much of an ornithologist.
Either way, nothing to worry ourselves about, but
I have taxidermied many birds, but not any snails.
it seems hard to do with a snail.
The ultimate challenge.
This conversation continues as you like dry yourself off, get redressed.
Do you just like stand up?
He's been standing the whole time.
I thought this was a shower. I assume there's maybe a privacy screen or something.
Nope.
Yeah. It's just a clawfoot tub. We'll say that.
Tornado. I'm not worried
Did
at
I
all.
say
Yeah.
which
We
kid
can
did I
sleep in the same bed and cuddle and whatever. It's, yeah.
No, shit pants Boris, he like hands you a towel as you stand up, like to like cover your modesty, mostly from himself.
I'm but a boy, you see.
And then picks up a revolver that's way too big for him. He's like,
All right, back to your rooms.
Very well.
he leads you in. You all find your rest and probably don't get great sleep with the events of the night. It's purely the exhaustion that keeps you down. But after about probably a good 5 or 6 hours, we're getting more into the late afternoon, you all rouse and are gathered by the Sootlings and brought downstairs into the dining room yet again, where Dirty Nigel is seated at the head of the table once again. Most of the other kids, they're in other parts of the house. They're not currently present in this room. It's just Dirty Nigel and his officers. Dr. Angus is not present either, but they bring in all of you, along with Octavia and Lord Blistlewart. All right then, have a seat. Have you had a chance to think about my proposal?
Provolone?
Have you had a chance to think about my proposal?
Do you have some?
Oh yes, I'm sure there's some in the cellar.
I mean, I think it benefits both parties.
Yes.
Provolone?
Your proposal.
Right. Indeed. Excellent. Well, have you decided are you going to take the horses or not?
I would personally like to.
I don't know if I've ever ridden a horse.
I think if we can get them through the catacombs, it could make for a speedy escape.
Perhaps we should
Quietly.
assess the condition of the horses before we decide.
Oh, that's a good
So-
point.
Can we have some guns?
As discussed, we will provide you with some weapons. He nods, and Shitpants Boris and Old Baby Pete each produce a revolver that they kind of like slide out onto the table, and as well as one box that has 5 revolver rounds in it. They also place a wood chopping axe and one of their billy clubs that has the nails through it on the table. I'm afraid this is all we can spare. Rifles are loaded. Each of them got 3 ready to go, and there's 5 left over.
All right, hands up. Who shot a gun before? No?
I don't.
I guess maybe Adelia would have.
Yeah.
She
don't
like just
have-
picks up a revolver and like spins the thing and like lets it out. Turns out she's amazing.
I don't have firearms in my history, so I'm going to say no.
I would think I would have shot a gun before.
Yeah, you're from Libertalia.
Yeah.
Guns akimbo.
I'll take the billy club.
I'll take the large axe.
I would bet that there's a saber, like a decorative saber, hanging.
Yeah, Adelia runs back up to her room.
room.
There's actually like
so good.
some cross sabers on the wall, and you go and you pull it free, and it's like fully sharpened. You assumed these were decorative, but this is a functional saber. The sheath, however, is welded to the other sheath.
The question you mentioned before that like the guns added a bonus to the fight check, like when they're used.
Yeah.
Do like these bladed weapons, like my meat cleaver or this large axe, add a bonus?
Yeah, so for the axe, it's going to be a +2 to fight checks. The revolvers are going to be a +3 to fight checks. And the billy club is also a +2. Saber would be +1.
Does my switchblade have any pluses?
Switchblade is a straight roll, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lord Byron is like, okay, I have fired gun before. I will take second gun.
Did you say that there were rifles?
No,
Okay.
they did not present you with any rifles, at least.
Just revolvers.
I will take 2 and have 1 empty chamber. You have full chamber.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
And just try to keep in mind that these things follow sounds, so maybe try not to use them unless it's dire.
Right. Well, to the stables, I guess.
All right.
As I said before, at the stables you're on your own. I haven't cleared it yet, so good luck. Those of you that return, I'll lead you through the catacombs.
Sounds good.
I've never thought about how scared of horses I've been before. They're scary.
Horses?
The horses are scary.
They're large animals.
What's to be frightened of? They're just extremely large, muscular creatures with killing hooves.
Wiggly horses.
Oh, that might be a problem, yes. Let's go find out, yes.
How do you guys exit the house? Do you go back out through the cellar, or do you go out of like a window on the first floor?
I think the cellar's probably the best way to go.
Yep.
Excellent.
Can be easily blocked
Yeah.
and unlocked.
Yeah, anyone feeling particularly cautious? I would say probably Cecil, this wouldn't apply to you, But if any of the three of you would like to make a brains check as you exit through the cellar. This is going to be a difficulty of, let's call it 8.
Can multiple of us do it?
Hmm?
Okay.
Just a 6.
I rolled an 8.
Nice.
Yeah. 3.
Um,
I'm just like, right this way.
An adversity token.
Yeah.
Always forget this.
Ezekiel, as everybody is kind of heading out through the cellar, you keeping eyes out. There's like more of the light of day now, and there are those windows that are like would be on the ground, like the base of the house on the outside, but they're kind of like raised since you're in the cellar area, letting a little bit more light in now than just the lantern that you had before. You see a lot of like leatherworking tools on the left. There's like chisels and various types of cutting implements. There's some tanned leather that's actually been set out, and there's like a partially finished saddle that's being crafted down here. And what catches your attention, though, that's a little bit odd, is on the other side of the basement, there's sort of this little like inlet and wraparound that seems to be like used for like cold storage. And you see a mass of white cloth that's just like, you can just see the end of it over around that corner. It's not moving, just like catches your
Like
attention.
on a table or
on the ground.
does it seem odd?
Yeah, it seems out of place. Like you would expect to look over there and see like maybe bits of like cured meats, or the cheeses would probably be stored in that area.
Mm.
It's weird to see like a cloth covering
Can I
that space.
go take a peek at it?
Yeah. You guys watch as Ezekiel walks over and you pull up a sheet and make a grit check for me. This is going to be a difficulty of, for Ezekiel, I'm going to say this is probably going to be a difficulty of 6.
We're about
See.
to call you shit pants Ezekiel.
Whoop! 3. Yes.
Yeah. You
Eyes are watering right now.
You're scared.
It's the
Yeah.
fear. It's the horse fear got to you. Underneath the sheet is a horse.
You lift up the sheet and your stomach churns, and you feel like bile welling up in your throat as you drop the sheet and step back. There are bodies beneath the sheets.
Is it the help?
You're not sure. You all see Ezekiel walk over and lift up the sheet and like turn and barf.
Oh, is some of the food spoiled?
Something spoiled, yes.
What is it?
Take a look.
Adela's gonna go look.
Okay, Adelia, you step over, slowly lift up the sheet. You see the first thing that you find recognizable is a hand. And you continue lifting the sheet and see that it's not connected to anything. You see a pile of former servants that have been stacked here and look like they've been cut away at bit by bit.
Fuck. Already?
How old do these bodies look?
It's cold, but they seem pretty fresh. Like the meat's not spoiled. The reaction that Ezekiel had was from shock of seeing people in that way, not so much from like the stench of rot, if that makes sense.
Well, what, the sootlings did this? What? I don't understand.
Did what?
Lord Byron like takes the revolver out and he's like, I know we should not have trusted those dirty little children.
Hold on now.
We left
I'll
your
go.
father with them.
I'll go have a look at what they're looking at.
Make a brains check, but I'm gonna say you can add 3 to this because of your skill at
Both butchering and morticianing.
what is it specifically? Your
Carcass dismemberment.
carcass dismemberment. Yes.
Do I add my +1 for being an adult also?
Yeah.
So +4.
+4, and the difficulty on this is going to be a 5.
Oh, well then I make it.
Excellent. Probably one of the few to look at this and not be instantly queasy. Taking a look, yeah, this is definitely not mortuary work, and most of these wounds were inflicted post-mortem. And there's been careful, not precise, but careful cutting away of the flesh, we would guess in the sense of using it for rations.
What looks like actually killed them? Does it look like there was a gunshot wound, or does it look like they were stabbed, or is it clear?
It looks like a number of things. There's about 3 bodies here. One of them has 2 bullet wounds in the head. Another one has some sort of fracture, like bludgeoning instrument was used just over the eye, and the other one has the throat slit. All of them have been dismembered and sort of sorted into like piles.
I have to imagine that the Sootlings did this when they took the house. They probably had to separate the bodies into pieces because they're not strong enough to move them all at once. I'll keep the bit about the cannibalism to myself for now.
Yeah. Make one more brains check. For reasons of my own, add 3 to this.
Okay.
The difficulty class is going to be a 7.
Explode.
Ooh.
9 plus 3, 12.
It's hard to tell because like none of them are wearing clothing or anything, and the rest of the group has kind of like pushed back behind you as you're kind of like lifting up and inspecting. At the back of the pile, you see a familiar-looking head that has some chops that go up to a mustache that you recognize from a portrait in the main foyer of the hall.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. I'll keep that to myself for the moment as well.
Okay, you place the sheet back down. Inform everyone of this.
I told you the Sootlings were monsters. What are we going to do? We can't just leave your father with them.
But how do we get him back?
The only way that we can get him back is to get the ammunition.
Yes.
Use the bargaining chip. I don't think that they'll harm him while they're waiting for us to get that.
Well, who's to say that they won't turn on us as soon as we get back with it?
Byron,
Yes, be clever.
you were staying with my father.
Yes,
Or where was he this morning?
he was in our room.
Would you be able to pick out the room from the outside? Which window it was?
Maybe. I did look out the window a bit to make sure there were no wigglers coming up on the house. If I could find, I could see the fountain from there for sure, and we were on the 3rd floor, so if I was at the fountain, I could probably pick it out. Yes.
We could maybe.
But I did hear him talking to the tattered one about they were going to take him to look at the sick children. I think this is unsettling, but I think they have more use for him than to just get rid of him. He has a skill that they require.
And just like they have him, we'll have the ammunition as a bargaining chip.
Octavia speaks up. Also, that leader of theirs, Dirty Nigel, the Gutter King, he's going to lead us through the catacombs, I presume by himself. He'll be outnumbered. We could corner him, question him, see what happened, and make a decision then. She's like, still has her blunderbuss.
Only the best chance that we have, although he is right. They are like cockroaches. Where there's one, there's more.
Are there any in this room right now?
Make a brains check.
8.
Yeah, 8 is more than enough. You hear the brief pitter-patter of feet at the door behind you.
We should probably chase that.
Shall I catch the child?
Yeah.
All right. Octavia kicks the door and rushes. Does anyone follow?
Good. Oh, God. I'm going to start unlatching cellar door.
Okay.
Just in case shit goes wrong.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to hear a gunshot.
I'm not fast enough to catch him.
I'm not fast enough to catch her. She's all coked up and ready to go.
You all...
It'd wear off by
Yeah,
now.
hopefully that's...
I don't know how it works.
Byron has the revolver and takes a couple of steps backwards towards the cellar door, and he's like, I think we should just get out of here. Cut our losses. You hear a gunshot.
Oh god.
We gotta go.
Oh no.
Then you hear two more gunshots that sound like they come from smaller guns.
Octavia!
That's not good.
This
That's
is like
not
from
good.
deeper in the house.
Oh,
This isn't good.
We gotta go.
This isn't good.
We gotta go.
Your father.
What about your father?
I mean, we don't have enough ammunition to take them on right now.
He's a doctor. They need him alive. We can come back with the Ambrosian Navy and save him from the children. Let's go. And Lord Byron rushes out of the cellar.
I don't think the Navy takes on the Sootlings.
I don't think
I think
the
the
Navy
Sootlings
can
are
go-
bigger than the Sootlings.
The Navy can come inland.
It's like so
I don't think the Navy can come in. They don't have legs.
just for reference for you guys, the Grand Ambrosian Navy is just the largest military force that Grand Ambrosia have. It's the main reason that they have been losing wars lately and like losing lands that have been previously acquired is because they have a great naval force, but not a great like standing army.
I think the Sootlings are stronger.
No, I'm just imagining.
Byron,
Regalia Navy people fighting little dirty children. And it's amazing.
and the children are winning. Coming out of fucking like traps like spiders in the ground, pulling them into cellars. Little shivs.
I mean,
I've never been more terrified.
I mean, right now we know that they want him alive and working. But it sounds like Octavia just lost that. She took on a bear. She took on a bear.
there is just one target.
Oh god! Oh god! You hear a distant scream.
Is it Octavia?
No, it sounds like Lord Byron.
Oh, the one
outside?
who ran off?
He just ran off. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Go.
Take a
Yeah.
look. Go where?
You
Inside of the house?
you guys peek your head out of the cellar. Looking out from the cellar door, you see in the distance, about 100 yards away, Lord Byron is down on the ground, screaming and thrashing, and there is a horse standing over him with its jaws around his midsection, and it's like shaking him. And you see eye stalks pulsing on the horse's head.
Oh my god! I thought at first it was just a regular horse.
What do all of you do?
They just curl up the coat. Hey, Cam.
It's excellent.
How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling okay? I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm terrified of a fucking zombie horse. I didn't know that this would be a thing for me, but I'm terrified of a zombie
It's
horse.
scarier than the bear.
Because a bear will eat you, and you know
I don't know
that
what a
already.
zombie horse is gonna do.
But a zombie, a horse doesn't eat you.
What are you guys doing here? Poking out of the cellar, you hear gunshots and screams in the house behind
I
you.
quiveringly grabbed the gun. And I was like,
I just want a reminder real quick. They don't make draft horses primarily. They make race horses primarily.
But we
They do both.
We do both because
Who-
it supplies the rest of the island with the workhorses.
Who regularly reach speeds of 40 to 44 miles an hour.
Yeah, this specific horse that you're watching maul Lord Byron is a draft horse, which is more terrifying because it's very large.
Did Lord Byron have one of the guns that we procured?
Yes.
We gotta go get that.
That's a problem.
We have to go get his weapon.
The horse pulls a well-muscled neck up and like tosses him through the air.
To us, or
He's 100 feet away, like 100 yards away from you. He's like on the opposite end of a football field, and is just being mauled by a horse, tossed through the air.
Or we can just make a note of where the gun is on the ground.
Right.
I will also say, based off the sound of clatter and gunshots coming from inside the house, it doesn't sound like they took Octavia out. It sounds like there's like a full-on guerrilla war happening in this house between her and
what is
children.
going on?
okay.
How did this happen?
We can't leave that open. Because the horse will get in.
No, we're so kidding. Maybe that's for the best.
But my father's in there.
But there's a lot of dirty children in there.
I don't know if there's any saving Octavia from the children, to be honest. They're quite vicious. And then as for the horse outside, well, As for your findings last night, I'm pretty sure Lord Byron's done for. It's possible we could get the gun back if we wait and quietly approach instead of running and screaming.
Then get shot by children.
The door to the cellar behind you
Children.
bursts open as Octavia comes back in and slams it behind her. You can see she's bleeding from the arm and like presses up against the door, and she's like, "There's too many of them. We've got to leave."
Yes, that was very ill-advised.
She still has her blunderbuss. She's like she's grabbed a cluster of like silverware that she's tossed down her blunderbuss and is like stuffing in.
Well, it's best use for it anyways.
Where's the horse in relation to where the gun is?
Oh, I mean,
The horse picks up the gun.
you'll have to, it's hard to see. Again, it's hard to tell. It's because this is all happening 100 yards away from you, which is a good distance. You can hear Lord Byron is no longer screaming.
Sure.
He's fallen limp on the ground, and the horse is just kind of like stalking through the yard. In the area, like normally you'd expect to see a horse grazing on grass, but it walks over and kind of just like nibbles at his
I
leg
added
a bit.
zombie horses to my
I
fears.
saw you did.
It starts like nibbling at his leg, and his body starts to thrash and jolt. Make a brains check to see if you can spot the revolver from here.
I've added sootlings to
This is
my
gonna be-
fears.
This is going to be a difficulty of
sorry.
10 to spot the gun from this distance.
Not my best option. You probably have an easier time spotting it than
Yeah,
me.
I'd say if anyone else is looking.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I only got a 4.
12.
12. Yeah, you can see when he was tossed through the air, he had the gun in his hand and like lost his grip on it at that moment. It's come about 10 yards closer to you,
And the horse
still 100 yards away. And his body
walking
is...
away from us?
it was kind of nibbling at his legs, which then began to kick and thrash, and you can see that he's beginning to turn.
The
The way that the call was just staring out. I think.
I didn't realize this would be the thing that is too much for me, but it's zombie horses.
There's a little, there's like, not loud banging, but just like against the door as Octavia kind of like leans forward. She's like,
Alright, get out and we'll lock the...
Bar the door, and then we need to get going.
right. What do you guys grab to bar the door?
Isn't there a lock on
Yeah,
the
we
outside?
Oh, this door does have a lock.
There's a chain.
Yeah.
No. She's at the door to the house. You're still in the cellar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
she
we don't have the key.
she
Do you have
bust
key?
out of the nailed down door.
No.
Yeah, does that
So,
have a key?
Let me set the scene here. You guys,
sure.
Okay.
you guys are in the cellar still. You've poked your heads out to see the situation with the horse. She came out of the house into the cellar and closed the door behind her and was leaning up against it.
Oh, okay.
And was saying that you need to go. And it seems like now the sootlings have caught up and are banging on the door behind her to get through. So you've got sootlings, angry sootlings on one side, and you've got zombie horse and soon-to-be zombie man on the other side.
Can I lock the door to the house?
Yes,
Okay.
you rush up. Go ahead and make me a quick grit check. We'll call this a difficulty of 4 to calmly get the key in.
So that's 8.
Everything
8?
so bad. So
Excellent.
fast.
Yeah, staying very weirdly calm under pressure. Delia steps forward and locks the door calmly.
Surprisingly, not the first time I've had to do this.
Oh no! And I'm gonna make a quick couple of rolls. Okay, that's not terrible. That's gonna be 5. And then Octavia, because she's not expecting this, it'll be Braun. 6. She like steps forward and is like, all right, let's be going. There's another gunshot as a bullet comes careening through the door, and like her hair moves as it passes through and just like collides into the wall of the cellar, and she's like, let's be going now.
The
Hurry.
horse is gonna come after that
I know.
sound.
We have to go quick.
You all rush out of the cellar.
Yeah.
Okay, as you rush out and peel off. The horse is directly to your left, 100 yards away, and has kind of like perked up at the sound of this gunshot and turned its head in your direction. You can see bite marks along its neck and shoulder.
Horse or
Human bite mark?
Hard to tell from this distance. You just kind of see like wounds.
all right.
Peers up and looks over, and you see as the body of Lord Byron also stands and begins like trying to get up.
Does he say anything?
You can't hear him from here
Okay.
now.
I just want to know what everyone has to say when they say.
Yeah, I make little notes.
You're right, the path appears to be clear into the kind of like front yard and the area of the woods that you entered from, or there's also the road that leads back to town that direction. Where did you guys
Cut and
head?
run.
Are they in the direct path to get to the stables?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the horse is between you and the stables.
Well,
Wasn't it
on the
even
back side of the
check the
house.
stables anymore?
No.
no. The Sootlings aren't going to guide us through the catacombs, obviously, and we probably don't want to go down there without a guide. Do we still want to go get the ammunition? Or do we want to... I mean, that's the only way that we're going to get your dad.
I think it's our best.
Also, it would help if we had
Ammunition.
If they make ammunition,
our
then
one gun.
the chances are that they
We
also
might find another gun.
have weapons. They probably have to test some of it on the site. Or there could be another factory nearby that makes weapons. We could arm ourselves more in that area.
Should we get the gun?
No, leave that gun.
We've got a gun. You've got a gun. I think
have
we're
this.
good.
I have an axe.
Could have saber.
Nice.
Let's be going then. Are you guys going to cut back through the woods again, or are you going to head along the roads this time?
Roads.
Well, we've
I
already
don't
taken
think-
out the bear.
One bear.
How many could there be?
Also, there could
Riddled
be...
with bears.
So many bears.
The forest could be full of zombie horses and deers.
Oh.
And
Oh no, that's bad too.
They have antlers.
I didn't even
cute
think about it. If it
things.
gets into the rat population, oh, there's no coming back from that.
We've got a cat for that.
Yes.
But you don't think that if a cat eats an infected rat, it's not going to be
Yeah, I would
infected
try to
itself?
avoid eating anything infected.
All right, so
Don't eat any
we get
wigglers.
the ammunition, we get more guns, we find a boat in Tartberry Port, and we burn the island to the ground.
I agree.
I'm all for this.
All right,
Yes, we've done
towards
this
to the
before.
city.
How do we get your father out from the Sootlings' custody?
We're gonna.
I
Go
imagine
get,
we're just running while we're having this conversation.
Yeah, just running across the front.
We're gonna.
Some-
We're going to find the ammunition.
Our best
and-
bet is the ammunition. Or they said that they had a contact there. We can just simply take it hostage.
Good.
Do we know who that contact was? Did they tell us?
We'll look for a dirty child.
You didn't get a name, no.
It could be an adult that they do business with.
He'll be covered in soot. It's the marker.
Not necessarily.
I mean, it's probably something like a piss shirt or, I don't know, fart hat. We'll figure it out.
Everybody make me a quick either brawn or flight check, your choice. The difficulty class for this is going to be 5.
15.
What did you do?
Rolled a 1.
How dare you?
Okay.
Well,
Getting a lot of these in.
Nice.
you said it's brawn?
Brawn or flight. The difficulty is 6? Is that what I said?
5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
What are the potential consequences of failing this?
You were gifted the ammunition and weapons that could be spared. There are Sootlings posted up in the house with rifles, and they are firing out of the windows at you.
What did you roll?
1. I might die.
I'm gonna spend
You've only missed it by 4.
I'm gonna spend both of my adversity tokens to put you at 5 because mine count double.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
I still fail with a 3 though.
This is a snap decision.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I won't do that. Can I spend them for
So
myself on a
it-
snap
for yourself.
decision?
Failing by how much is how's that work again?
If the attacker's roll is greater by 4 to 6, then you are fairly hurt, and you would take
2.
2 harm.
So if I spend 1, that'll be 1 harm.
Yeah.
Instead of 2.
If it's greater by 1 to 3,
Okay.
then you would take 1 harm.
I'm spending 1.
All right, yeah. You take it through the tricep meat of your arm. A rifle shot passes through as they're firing out at all of you. What did everybody else get?
I spent 2 adversity tokens to put myself at 5.
Nice. Nurse Blair, you also take one. It kind of grazes your side, and you take 1 harm. And
I got a 15.
15? Nice. Adelia is high-stepping away from the manor house. That was
Fuck.
The DC was so low because you guys have already made it quite a distance, and these
Yeah.
rifles don't have a great range. So it wasn't going to be lethal either way, but it could have slowed you down for potential future issues.
I wish I could have spent those to help you guys.
Very good.
My adversity token has a little penis on it.
Oh.
And a vagina and some tits.
Well,
Back out.
that's not
No back.
the vagina.
Tits.
Oh,
Back out.
Yeah. Rushing out, you leave the sounds of distant gunfire behind you. It seems that the Sootlings, while enraged by Octavia's showing of surprise force, while it did enrage them, they are either smart enough or scared enough to not leave the safety of the house.
Or that horse started banging on their door.
Who knows? They were.
You should just lure the infected into the building and let them take care of the Sootlings.
Right, but there's still the sick
Father.
kids and my dad.
You're kind of like having this conversation as you catch your breath. You followed the long drive that leads out from St. Clair Manor back into more of Thistlewick proper, which is unrecognizable from just yesterday. You can see a number of buildings have burned out and are still smoldering. Smoke is rising from various places within the city as you're kind of on this slightly raised overlook, looking over it.
Can I see where my shop is? Like my shop that I know was unburnt when I left it, unlike my other one, which I know burned.
Yes, from this distance, which is
Everything free.
you're like quite a distance away. It's like several miles across the city. But looking out, you can see that there is a large burn scar on that area of the city, but it's impossible to tell if it probably started when your mortuary was alit by whoever or whatever did that. But it's impossible to tell if that fire spread across the street or was going the other way.
I'll have to check on the shop later.
The factory district is actually the closest portion of the city to where you currently are. So it doesn't take long for you guys to arrive.
So last night, as we were leaving town, there was a lot of noise of like gunfire and screaming. What's it like now?
Quiet.
So maybe the uninfected won, right?
I think that's doubtful.
As you guys are like talking and you've got your various like sabers and billy clubs and guns and axes and implements staying close together and walking through the streets. Probably actually staying closer to the middle of the street in case anything were to come out of any of the surrounding businesses or buildings. And you find yourself stepping into the once bustling heart of industry of Thistlewick. The factory district is eerily quiet. You can hear the whirring and churning of machinery within some of the factories, but you suspect that most of these are running unmanned. As you continue through the eerie calm, you round a corner that leads directly to this particular steel mill. There are only 2 major steel mills in the factory district. Most of the places here are like warehouses that are mostly for storage or produce other goods. As you kind of like peek around the corner, you catch sight of about 30 to 40 infected wigglers, as we've come to know them, who are standing in the street and kind of like meandering aimlessly, and the cacophony of the various repeated phrases that are being said are kind of just mingling together into this low, droning, like moaning sound.
So creepy.
I'll whisper to the others. I have this flaming concoction. Should we light it and throw it at that big crowd of zombies?
Perhaps a distraction is in order. You could maybe throw it in the opposite direction of where we need to go and have them all head that way?
You
Could do that, but it would also just agitate them in general.
Mm.
Right now, they're just milling about.
to your point, they might go to the fire even if we hit something, right?
If it's loud.
It does.
They don't. Have they like screamed in pain or anything when we stabbed them?
No.
Yeah.
It does limit the amount of time we have to get the job done, though, because the fire will spread.
True.
I think maybe we can leave that for.
I think hold on to it for sure.
There's got to be another way of making a very loud noise somewhere that doesn't involve fire, right?
Especially once we get into the factory.
I
We
could,
start up those machines.
I could perhaps make my way up to the top of one of these nearby buildings and fire the blunderbuss into the air, draw them all over, but from a safe height.
That'll
But
trap
then
you.
how do you...
Why into the air? Shoot one of them.
Oh, yes, I could do that too.
Or you could save black powder. We can just throw something big. They don't know.
Well, there's
It'll
supposed to
pop.
be quite a lot of black powder in the factory, correct?
Yeah.
Perhaps we could just sneak past them and toss a barrel out.
What would a barrel of black powder do?
Explode.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should throw
There's
whole
like mini
barrel.
kegs.
We could make like a sort of like a larger version of a blunderbuss, like a cannon. We could grab a lot of different forks and knives and implements and shrapnel, put it inside the barrel, and then toss it and light it.
We'd just blast the fuck out of all of them.
Yes, we'll shred them where they stand. But how do we get past them first?
Are they like
Like
in
this
between
doesn't
us?
solve our problem.
Are they in between us and the factory we need to get to? And there's no other.
They're like standing in the. They're like blocking this portion of the road. You could probably tuck into some alleys and maybe get around the crowd.
Are there any buildings we could possibly cut through?
Yeah, potentially. The one on the right side is like burned out and still smoldering, filled with smoke. But there's the one that you're kind of like peering around currently is seemingly unscathed by fire. It's unmarred.
We could try going through here to the other side.
That may be our best bet. For now.
Is there a door nearby that I can try very quietly?
There's a window out front that's been broken at the bottom, but the full window didn't shatter. There's just like something was thrown through it, is what it looks like. You actually find yourself looking at a local industrial worker's favorite among pubs. This is the Mossy Mug.
Maybe keep your firebomb ready.
The door is unlocked, as it was operational during the festival. It's dark within.
Quietly step in.
Yeah, make a flight check. This is
Billy
gonna
Club out.
Excellent. This is going to be a difficulty of 3 to just not make any noise opening this door with a lot of like broken glass around.
I suppose that using a lantern wouldn't hurt since they can't see.
3.
Woo! Yeah, you quietly open the door, step inside. Cecil, you step in with your lantern, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And it illuminates the space. You see there are tables that have been turned over. Do any of you feel like you would have been to this pub before?
Absolutely not.
Very likely.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe.
Especially if they serve food.
They do. Yeah, this is the local spot for fish and chips.
Yes. Well, I'm not a fishmonger, but I may have supplied them with bangers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolute bangers.
Nothing but.
Stepping inside, the weird eeriness that you get when you step into a space that you're very familiar with being like lively and packed, but if you were to like just randomly pop in on a weekday and there's nobody there, it's that same kind of like eerie, but on top of that, tables are turned over. There are mysterious streaks of blood that just kind of like drag across the floor in some areas before going from like smears to drips and then kind of petering out. You take in the space, and it almost tells a story of people being attacked and quote unquote dying and then getting back up and continuing on their way. But for the time being, there's no one currently present inside. Stepping through, you walk through the main tap room area and are carefully stepping over tables and broken chairs and avoiding blood puddles so as not to just like get your shoes all dirty and, and track at places. And you make your way through to the back, which is another thing that just feels weird. Is like, I'm used to being a patron at this establishment.
I shouldn't be back here.
Yeah, I shouldn't be behind the counter. I'm seeing employee-only rooms now. You travel through the back hallway and like past the kitchen, where you can see there's like still a fire going under the stove. And
Can I grab like a bottle or something just to like have on hand?
yeah, for sure.
Are there any bottles of spirits, like high alcohol content spirits, that are still intact?
Absolutely.
I need those.
Definitely grab some for Albrosian cocktail purposes.
Hell
Also
yeah.
good for disinfectant in a pinch.
Excellent.
Not in real life.
Wait, really?
What?
A high proof alcohol.
It doesn't.
It doesn't not, but it's not like
You should just use alcohol.
you should just use
Well,
alcohol.
I mean, yeah.
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 But if we
If
were
you're being
in this,
attacked
you
by
know,
a
the
zombie
world's
horse.
ending, I'm gonna do it.
Do what you
gonna
gotta
do
do.
I'm shoving that whiskey right in that armhole.
The bottle.
I'll grab 3 bottles of high alcohol content spirit.
Yeah,
I'll grab
absolutely.
one.
There's more than enough. Stepping through into this like out this back door area, peering out and checking to make sure the coast is clear. You don't see any in the immediate vicinity as you all shuffle out of the building and are coming around the backside, and you see there is a door to the steel mill, just like a very like thick steel door just past the crowd. So you will have to like walk across the street that they are filling, but they're not immediately blocking the door from this position.
Just have to be quiet.
Everybody make a flight check. It's going to be, again, difficulty of 3 to very quietly cross the street.
This is so much more
Is
difficult
this a
than it
snap
should be.
decision?
Is there anything we can do to
This
try
is a
to,
planned action.
Can we like tie rags around our shoes so they don't make as much noise? I don't know.
You can try whatever you'd like to try.
We get it.
So I shouldn't be wearing my tap shoes, right?
I got
do
a
you bring those
50-50 shot of succeeding this roll.
50-50.
I will say the main issue here, like the main worry here is not like, oh, my shoes were too loud. Because there's a crowd of them and they're all shuffling and moaning.
Yeah.
The idea is like you're trying to avoid, there's like broken glass on the street, there's refuse everywhere. It's trying not to like bump into anything or kick something that's going to clatter.
And what's the check? What's the
It's
number?
a difficulty 3 flight check. Unless you can tell me which other of your skills you are trying to use to attempt to...
I rolled a 2.
Nice.
All right, so that's a 17 for Adelia.
Do you have
Excellent.
adversity tokens?
He used one.
Okay. 5.
Nice. Very low stakes here, you guys.
What do you mean?
I keep
Rather
rolling
high-
low on
high
fight, and it's
stakes,
my
low
second highest
difficulty.
roll.
Well, for you, low difficulty. For me,
Again, this is a planned action, so any other adversity tokens that people have can be applied to any failing rolls.
3!
Excellent. You all very quietly make your way across the street and to the door to the steel mill. The door is unlocked. Again, these...
We go to open it.
No, this is everything here is well greased. It is
yeah.
again this factory district is like frequently used. It does not nothing ever closes here. The factories are always running. Industry,
Slathered in
Why they even have a door?
right? Stepping into the steel mill, the air hangs still with the acrid scent of rust and chemicals. Abandoned machines loom as dormant sentinels within the space, casting long shadows over the floor. Traversing the maze of machinery, you enter a space where one of the massive smelting crucibles has tipped from its resting place, and a mass of formerly molten iron and steel forms a wave of metal that has frozen solid. And within it, you can see that there are bodies of several unfortunate factory workers caught in the path of the once molten metal. Some of the bodies are still thrashing what limbs are exposed in a desperate attempt to free themselves. Squishy stalks pulse from their skulls
Oh, okay, there's zombies.
as they ceaselessly squirm in their metal tubings.
Dude.
Terrible.
So
We have. It's going to be bleak, what I'm about to say.
Great metal album cover, you're right.
We have live ones we can experiment with.
What kind of experiments do we need to do? We just need the ammunition to go.
Is there anything you want to try to find out?
Nowhere near getting a cure. You have no idea what to do with them.
I have some sharp knives, if that would be handy.
Can
You
I
know
fill
the
a
sharp knives
syringe
for
with,
everything.
how do you say it again? Quinine?
Quinine.
Yeah, with quinine.
Yeah.
And inject it into one of the ones that looks like.
Yeah, you just fill it all the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, you stick it in and inject it. Where do you inject it?
That's the
there's-
head. Where can I get to a head without
Yeah.
being attacked or whatever?
Well, yeah, there will be a roll involved.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one that's like covered up to like half the chest, so it's just like one arm
Yeah.
and the head exposed. And as you step over, just the sound of even your soft footsteps approaching, it like notices and starts like reaching out at you. I'm gonna go ahead and make a fight check.
Okay.
How do you attempt to?
I guess it'd be fight, right? I'm not gonna charm it.
I mean, if you're just going for like stabbing it in lieu of it biting you,
Yeah.
then yeah, that
Wherever
would
I
be-
can get to it easily.
Yeah, if
it
the
doesn't have to
arm
be the head.
reaches out, just
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a difficulty of 9.
Shit.
Factory workers got some good fight in them.
Nine. I rolled an 8.
Excellent. Yeah, it like reaches out to try and grab you. You step on the wrist and stab into the temple. And as you push the plunger, you feel that like pulsating eye stalk as it kind of like touches your hand, and it's got that same viscous, mucusy feel to it as the snails do. And you push the plunger in, and almost immediately the body kind of like shakes and goes limp.
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Okay.
Did you just kill it? It's not like you cured it, right?
Can I kick it with my shoe?
You do. It's limp.
Well, I mean, if you stabbed somebody in the brain with some quinine, wouldn't it have killed them too, anyways?
I don't know. How's this shit work?
oh, it's an anti-parasitic.
It's a malaria treatment.
I was like, it's not malaria, it's parasites.
Malaria is a parasite.
Malaria is a parasite.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was just inside of.
Plasmodium falciparum is a parasite that gets into the red blood cells in the body and causes malaria. Quinine works by killing the parasite or preventing it from growing.
Interesting.
Well, that's good to know.
How much do we have?
8 pieces.
I have some. Can we? While we're here, I need a long, thin rod, like a stick, if we can, maybe arm's length. And
Are you gonna make a little spear?
well, there's something that we use. I've
So you
seen.
put it at the end of it, and it would
I've
push
seen
in.
it used at the zoo for animals that they can't get in the cage with. As long as we can push the plunger.
Ah, the exotic
can-
creature pavilion.
Right.
I used to provide specimens.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Yes, in my travels abroad.
Basically, we just need a way to keep some distance and push the plunger. This seems like a good place to find, maybe.
Oh, there's certainly a lot of rebar and iron poles that we could probably affix.
So we know how to weld.
No.
No. Also,
Okay.
that sounds loud.
How did you obtain the specimens?
Oh, tranquilizers mostly.
So you're familiar with this method then?
Oh, certainly. Oftentimes, I would just grab the syringe in one hand and either we would run the beast down until it was exhausted and then fill it up with tranquilizers and bring it back with us, or I would just leap on its back and stick it right in the jugular.
Brutal.
Assuming
Okay.
the creature had a jugular.
Which
What kind of creatures don't?
Snakes. Large snakes.
I hand each of you a syringe filled up with quinine.
Do you think it could vaccinate against?
or maybe as an emergency treatment.
So 1, 2, 3.
That certainly was an overdosage of directly to the brain. Perhaps we should try a smaller bit on another one and just intravenous. You see there's like 6 more that are just like thrashing and coated in the metal. Some of them are like just the legs are protruding.
I'll leave it up to you.
All right. Like rolls up her sleeves and approaches one. She's gonna walk over to one that's just the legs kicking, and she like stands there for a minute, and then she's like, I'm realizing if it does work as a cure. She like motions at how they're trapped in formerly molten steel. She's like,
Right.
Well,
I'd feel quite bad for the chap.
I don't think that it's going to cure anyone who's already been rampaged by it, but it will destroy them.
I see.
It might
Like rabies.
save
Once you
someone.
have rabies, you're
Right.
gone.
It might serve as an emergency treatment for someone who's been bitten, though.
Ah, here we are then.
Maybe
she,
that's the best
Could
use
just
for them.
reverse it entirely.
She walks over to some exposed legs that are just kicking, like sits down on one of them and pulls the pant leg up, and she's like, let's just do it bit by bit and see how much it takes until it stops moving. Sticks the needle in. It's like very chipper and chill about this whole situation. It takes about a quarter of the syringe
Wow.
before it
So
stops.
it's 1 syringe, 1 dose, or
Yes.
okay.
It only takes a quarter?
We don't know how much of their bodies were left, though.
It's true.
You still have that other syringe too. I'll give you another one.
Did it have anything in it? Did it have?
It had equal parts
It had all the
laudanum,
stuff.
heroin, and quinine.
Right.
That should do something.
Yeah, I
It'll
mean,
do
a
something.
third of it was quinine, so
Yeah.
theoretically it should work.
I mean, you die, and then you also wouldn't turn into one of them, so
And have a great time.
it's a very
On the
peaceful
way
way
out.
to go out.
Perhaps you've discovered the cure. Maybe that concoction of things will just bring them back to normal.
I certainly hope not.
I'm not much of a scientist, but I think that's how it works.
I'm not a pharmacist, obviously. But I wonder about.
I am. No.
I don't
You're
want.
Yeah, pretty much. This time period.
Quinine is also present in tonic water, as in a gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that something?
Oh, we just left the bar.
Saying is we should drink a lot of gin and tonics before we're bitten.
I've got quite a few in my car currently.
It's a lower concentration, but that's what makes tonic water.
Right.
So, when all of this is over, we just have the whole population drink a bunch
Can
of
we-
gin and tonics.
I
We
have
could
a
throw a big worldwide party and save everyone.
I have a quick question about. It's like a logistical question.
What's up?
Were there aerosols yet?
I mean, there
Just
were
fill like could we
like
s-
perfume bottles and things.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
What I'm wondering is, what if we could just like get a bunch of tonic water, aerosols?
I think you need to ingest it.
Yes.
Breathing isn't just.
The concepts.
Yeah, but not a lot.
The concepts of aerosol go back as far as 1790.
Wow.
But the first aerosol spray can patent was granted in Oslo in 1927. But they did have like perfumer's sprayers.
Yeah.
Atomizers.
I love how no matter what campaign we're doing, it always leads back to, what if we spray them in the face?
Well,
Well, I
It's
can
you learned
Foolproof.
some valuable things here.
There's plenty of time for experimentation later. We're here for ammunitions.
And
Yes.
a long rod.
A long lot.
Is that the ammunition isn't in the steel mill, though, right?
I think it was, wasn't it? That's where we were told to
I
go.
believe so.
Surely they wouldn't.
Well,
They
oh,
would,
you're also the contact.
surely they
Yes,
wouldn't
Do I see?
store black powder or they're
Here.
smelting steel.
Looking around the space, there's oddly you don't see any ammunition and you don't see any black powder. And you're kind of like looking around and you see there's this whole like open space is basically just like one big room filled with machinery. And that crucible had fallen over and created a spill here, which has like splashed up a bit onto the door on the opposite side. Seems to have like sealed it shut as well. But you also notice that raised up like 2 flights worth of stairs, is a large metal office box, the foreman's office, which is, there's a window that would look out over the factory, but it's darkened and the door is currently closed.
Maybe we'd have a better view from up there.
Maneuver your way around and quietly.
Bring up the rear. And I have just a syringe.
Bring up the front with my axe.
Yeah, you quietly head up and try the handle on the door, and it's locked tight.
Try to bash it in, but it'll make some noise. I don't know if that noise will carry out of the mill, though.
Do any of us know how to pick locks?
Have you tried knocking? Perhaps there's someone in there.
Hello,
Who goes down?
this is Cecil Cobblemeat.
You're not one of them, I hope. Can you prove it?
Well, I'm not repeating myself.
Make a charm check with a difficulty of 5.
I love.
He's so
I'm
funny.
not repeaking myself. It's
5.
like a good thing to say.
5, nice.
Be so funny if you were just like, I'm Cecil Culverbeat. Freaks out.
What does he want, Cecil?
We're looking for black powder, ammunition.
Well, the place hasn't exploded yet, so I presume it's still in the warehouse, the storeroom, on the far side, opposite of where we are now.
I'll look over in that direction. Is it?
There's a door on the far wall.
That's not the one that was splashed with steel and sealed, though, right?
No.
Is it locked?
Yes, it should be.
Do you have a key that we can have for it?
I do have the key.
Drop it out the window.
Or do you just
This
hand
window
it-
doesn't open.
You can just hand it to me. We're not going to harm you.
We can back up.
How do I know that none of you are sick?
Well, we have avoided the infected.
I have both of my regular eyeballs.
Are you all right in there?
I'm absolutely fine. Things went sideways and people started losing their minds and biting each other and ripping each other, and I
Yes.
locked myself in here when things went sideways.
Yes, the entire island is going that direction. Do you have the resources to live in there for an extended period of time?
Got a couple more little baggies of pig snack.
You
I'm sure that the Grand Ambrosian Navy will be sweeping in here in no time to save us all.
I wouldn't count on that.
you wouldn't happen to know any sootlings, would you?
Things.
Right, the little children covered in dirt?
Yeah, I know some footprints, yes.
Personally, or
Well, there's one in here with me. We're conducting a business deal.
Which sootling is with you?
Of course.
It's fart pisser.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
So close!
What earned him that name? Does it piss from his dick?
I've been told it's not polite to ask. I assume it makes a funny little sound when he pees.
That's a medical problem.
You can tell Farpisser that we were sent by Dirty Nigel to acquire the black powder and ammo. He can vouch for us.
Make another charm check. This one's going to be a difficulty of 3. Wow.
We're hitting these numbers exactly.
We're barely squeaking by on some of these
Yeah.
checks.
There's a quiet moment before you hear the fumbling of a lock, and then the door kind of creaks open just a bit as you see an older gentleman, kind of like bald on top, with a thick mustache that covers his mouth and curls up at the sides, that goes out like past his head.
Who do I have the pleasure of doing business with?
The key, please.
What Adelia is saying.
Adelia,
Delia, how is your father doing?
I should hope very well. I haven't seen him actually since before the Luminar Festival. So.
Odd. Last I saw, he'd hopped in his little motor vehicle and headed home. Well, my name is Foreman Reginald Bumblefudge. Pleasure meeting all of you. And this is
Fudge?
Bumblefudge. Yes.
Bumblefudge.
Yes. And this is Fart Pisser.
There's a Sitling in there who's looks to be probably like 8 or 10 years old, and just kind of like steps out.
Got a king sent you?
That's
Right.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
He was worried
got
when
the
he
key.
didn't hear from you, so.
Yeah,
There's
I've been
some-
trapped in this office for hours now. Starting to smell in there.
It smells of fart piss, I'd assume.
As the kid steps out, you get the sense immediately of why he got the name he does, and it's because of the way he smells like both.
Every fart smells different, but he smells like all of them.
He smells like fart. He smells like fart piss.
Adelia takes some perfume from her chandeliers.
No.
We
got
can
the keys,
provide you safe passage back to the gutter key
Yeah?
if you want.
All right. Oh, I'm so glad that he's okay. Follow me. I've got the key to the...
I look at everyone.
Make a charm check.
Okay.
I'll roll for him, and we'll see what the difficulty is going to be. I'm going to roll brains. Difficulty of 2.
I rolled 2 on a d20. I'm rolling low, y'all.
He kind of like looks at you. He's like,
All right.
Holy shit. Well, I've only rolled like 1s and 2s on every kind of die.
he leads you down the stairs and to that door on the far side of the factory. And he sticks the key in and turns it, and goes to pull the door open. He's like,
This one always sticks. Can you give me a hand?
Yeah.
What if we maybe,
I'm scared.
I mean, I'll help him open it.
do you have any grease? Or anything greasy?
I feel like you would.
He pulls out a sausage and sticks it in me.
I have some sausage on me.
What's it called? The rendered fat you get from like brisket and render it out and stuff. I feel like you would have some.
Tallow.
Tallow. Beef
Tallow.
tallow.
Yeah.
We could get some grease from the bodies in the steel over there.
No, I'm good.
There's grease inside.
Right, but if the doors, does it make a big sound when it unsticks?
Sometimes.
Right, we don't
wanna
want
avoid
that.
Yes.
So we
Why?
should, because those things respond to sound.
They seem pretty stuck to me.
There's many
There's
more.
many outside.
Did you close the door when you came in?
Well, yeah, but we don't want to be surrounded.
Did we close the door when we came in?
Oh yeah. No.
I assume you
Yeah.
did. Nobody mentioned it, but probably you did.
Hey, in this kind of thing,
I'm
we
always
close
closing the door.
It would be pretty funny if we did.
I mean, yeah, it depends on who you let.
It's like if
back.
I'm in a room and there's an open door, I'm probably going to go close.
I mean,
He like turns. There's like one bit of machinery that's still been running in this area, that has like huge heaps of like factory grease on it. That is the main reason that it's not super loud inside this space. It's more just like kind of like a low hiss and whir as it moves. And he points to that and he's like,
I mean, I don't know how to turn this machine off, but I'll try and stop some off of it real quick.
I can use.
No, we gotta get back to nice.
I was like, are we about to mingle and create machinery?
Go for it. Sounds great.
I'll
can-
try
I'm
this
pretty quick.
sausage. I'll try and rub the sausage
I can
around
just-
on the door.
I can just grab a bandage and just try to like, just grab some grease off of something that's not moving, maybe, or at least not moving a lot.
Unfortunately, the grease is only on the parts that move because that's where it's needed. There's like some clumps of it, so it's basically like this big wheel. Like, and when I say big wheel, I mean like this almost halfway to the ceiling of this tall, like 50-foot high factory. There's this big spinning wheel, and there are hollow points on the inside, kind of like spokes. And kind of at the edges of those spokes where they move past other bits of the machine, there's like little gloops that will like occasionally pass by, but there's also like stationary spokes, so you have to like get in and out really quick without getting your arm caught.
Is this machine making enough noise while it's running that it would mask the opening of a door nearby? From the
Potentially,
outside?
it's a surprisingly quiet machine. Depends on how loud the door is.
Just open the door. Open the door? Open the door.
You're rubbing sausages on the hinges.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Waste of good meat.
For as much as I want to mangle a little child in machinery, let's just open the door.
I think he's big enough. Look at him. He's spry and young.
A fart piss is a fast thing. All right, I've sausaged the door.
Wait. Hold on, just out of game point of order. Is his name
That sound.
Is his name Fart Pisser or Far Pisser?
Fart pisser.
Fart pisser.
Hold on, I have to make an.
An addendum.
Fart pisser. Fart pisser.
All right, little child, go ahead and stick your hand in the machinery. Let's get some grease.
Was that always going to be his name, or did it get changed?
Oh, I chose that after our conversation earlier.
I was going to say.
What were your guesses
I just wrote
guess
down
this
fart
was-
pisser in my notes.
My guess was piss shirt or fart hat.
Yeah.
So close.
It was like a couple of seconds past we had moved on when I was like, oh yeah, there's that kid. What's his name gonna be? Fart pisser.
Incredible.
You asked him to get some grease?
Yeah. No. Go on, little child. Stick your hand in the giant machine. It's fine.
I'm
Get
gonna
some
grab
grease.
the child.
No, let him do it.
No.
It's fine.
Pulling back by his collar.
Just go ahead.
No.
Oh,
I'm committing to this. Let's go.
wait.
It's the Victorian era. It's fine.
Wait.
Little children are dispensable.
I have my shaving kit. That'll have shaving oil, grease stuff in it.
Oh yeah, you can make a nice lather.
Yeah. You can use that as the grease for the door.
Oh sure.
I'm gonna take some of my shaving, whatever cream, and
Yeah.
like put that on the hinges.
You do your best between the sausages and the lather to grease up the door. Okay, we're gonna make a couple of rolls here.
Sure.
First, Cecil.
Roll for piss. Then roll for fart.
First, Cecil, I need you to roll a brawn check to get the door open.
Okay.
This is going to be a difficulty. It's going to be a difficulty of 6.
7.
Nice. Now, yeah, we're not going to use a stat for this. This just has to be a luck check. Go ahead and roll me. I'll say pick a die between 10 and 20.
12.
You want a 9 or higher.
11.
Nice.
The door opens silently.
Sausages.
That was a close shave.
How long did you have that seat?
1 second.
Oh my god. You open the door and there's a heavenly choir that sings as you look into a room that is just stocked full of bullets and black powder. Different calibers. Octavia steps in and she gathers up some just like shot that is just like little tiny ball bearings basically, and is like filling up her pockets and a little satchel that she has at her side. What are the rest of you gathering up?
I look for the caliber bullet that fits the revolver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grab a bunch of those.
We'll call it 50 rounds.
Cool.
As much as you can carry before it's cumbersome.
Looking for any other weapons, or the rifles, or pistols, or revolvers.
There are no rifles in this space, but there may still be some. Like they had mentioned that there might be some somewhere on site for testing. You would guess that maybe the foreman might have something up in his office.
Reginald, do you have any weapons that we could possibly use?
Like take?
Right, yes.
To have? No.
Well, to get us safely back to the manor.
Right, that doesn't sound like my problem.
What
Are you taking me with you?
You're going to stay.
I was going to say, are you going to stay here?
Oh, well, I'll bring my rifle.
Good.
Okay.
Excellent.
He's up the stairs and comes back down with his rifle, holding it very protectively.
Do you have any bags or things that we could put black powder in?
Well, yes, they're in the barrels, but we've also got some satchels. Yeah,
They're like hanging up on the wall, some just like linen sacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a linen sack and fill it up with black powder.
What are you planning to do with the ones that are outside?
Perhaps we could fashion a bomb. Is there like a barrel of black powder that we could light a fuse in and just roll towards them?
I've just had an idea. They follow sound, right?
Right.
Black powder makes quite a hiss once you light it. If we could very quietly make a line of black powder from the creatures that leads into this factory, then we could have a stack of black powder. They would follow it inside, and then it would burst them all to pieces in here. We could lure them out of the street.
We're in here.
Well, once we leave, we would
light it from outside.
Yes, I'll give it to you in reverse. We build we build a pile of black powder, and then we take a barrel, pull the cork, and we draw a line from the black powder all the way out to those creatures, very quietly. Then, one of us lights it, and then the creatures, will then follow that sound as it goes along the line back inside. Kaboom!
Maybe we can.
And then the kaboom would drive the rest of them to here.
Are we ever going to leave a place without burning it down?
No.
Never.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
okay, just checking.
We're burning it all, is my understanding.
I heard this place isn't
Alternatively,
worth keeping.
if you didn't want to burn it down, if we just wanted to make them less of a threat, we could just set off a small explosion inside, wait for them all to funnel in, and then close the door behind them, and maybe lock them in the factory. But that seems like just setting a trap for someone else down the line.
Yes.
Well,
Or even
unless-
ourselves later.
Unless the cure thing works, that would be smart, rather than just blowing up a bunch of humans that could have been saved.
I
Right.
don't think that their brains are intact. But
We
what do
could-
I know about brains?
We could create collections of them.
If I hold up the jar that I put the little wiggler in, is it still wiggling?
Not currently. Shake it. It just kind of flops.
Alright.
Assume it needs a host of something to stay alive.
We could also just leave. That's an option as
We
well.
were just-
True.
And
Boring.
we do have ambrosia cocktails, so if things go badly.
But we could maybe curtail it going badly if we lured them out of the streets.
Sure. Any sound in theory any big sound in theory would do that, so it doesn't necessarily have to be destructive.
I still like the idea of blowing something up. There's
Are there any long rods of like aluminum or anything?
There's some iron rods, yeah.
I take.
Yeah. I would say you can only really carry one.
Sure.
They're pretty heavy. But it's a good like 6 feet long. You're also carrying a lot of other stuff.
Sure.
It's like unwieldy. Having more
Yeah.
than one 6-foot iron rod is going to be hard
Oh,
to
I
carry
bet.
around.
Can I get a couple small bags of black powder?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, how much
There's more
ammunition
than
and stuff?
more than anyone could need. I think I set the limit at like 50 for rounds you can carry on you.
Okay.
So what's the plan?
It's like standing
Plans.
like too close to you. This kid reeks.
I'm gonna slip I'm gonna slip a hygiene pamphlet into his pocket.
Why do you have that?
I made them. I have a great many hygiene pamphlets that I had printed for the public of this island.
He's like, oh, thanks.
I'm gonna give it.
Do you think he
I'm
can
gonna
read
give
it?
him the calcium tablets that she gave me. It's like, you
What's
can
this?
probably use these.
The drugs.
Pretty bones.
They're like,
It's the coolest drug.
For your bones.
Perhaps he could use it.
He like tries to chew it and a tooth falls out.
He's already missing like 3 teeth along the top. You're not sure if that was baby teeth or what.
All right. I
You
sent it
should,
to Octavia.
you should let him
suggested.
sample another of your drugs later.
Yeah, maybe.
They're very recreational.
I like recreational drugs. You like the cigarette?
Not in here!
That's it out. Do you yell this?
Oh no, I probably do.
Make
Oh my god.
make I'll give you the same situation that I gave Matt. Choose a die from between D10 and D20.
10.
10? Okay. You want to roll an 8 or higher.
Alright, well, what if it was lower than that? And it was maybe a 2.
Oh, excellent.
Is it?
For me,
Oh. Happy for
he
you.
lights a cigarette, you look at the black powder and you scream, no, not here! And then you hear thudding against the door.
Like the door to the
entrance,
ammo room?
The door that you came in.
Or the door to the steel mill?
The door to the steel mill.
Okay.
The ammo room, you're standing, it's just like a closet, basically. And so there's a sealed door on the far end that the metal has kind of welded shut. The door that you came in, which was right next to the street where all of the creatures were, is where you're hearing the thudding.
Are any of the crucibles still hot?
Yeah, one of them is still on.
Like it's filled with molten stuff? Are there any that are hot that aren't filled with like?
No, there are 3 of them in total. One of them is off, one is running, and then the third one had fallen.
I was thinking we could throw some bullets in there over time.
Is there another entrance or exit other than these 2 to this building?
no.
How long do you think those doors will hold against some infected?
Reginald is like,
I'm not entirely sure. I don't have a frame of reference for how many people it takes to beat down a door.
If we put a bunch of black powder on this side of the door and blew it up, do you think it would take off the doors and wipe out a bunch of people on the other side?
It would certainly be dangerous, yes.
What do y'all think?
Do you think it would be better to maybe use a smaller amount of black powder at the other door? Maybe see if we can lure them that direction. Or blast that door off its hinges, make our escape.
Let's try that.
Sure. Or is there just are all the walls made of wood? We can just make a hole anywhere.
Oh no, this is a steel mill. This is a metal building with stone on the outside. Finest Grand Ambrosian steel. Much like the door, it will probably hold for some time.
Do y'all ever hear someone say something? And you're like, oh, that's maybe they're selling
Yeah.
us if they turn.
Yeah, that was my exact thought process when he said that.
I just thought it would be funny if there's like something that was rusted that just like fell off the ceiling right next to it.
Grab some bags of bullets.
And then I wonder if you should prepare an Ambrosian cocktail as we make our way out for when they inevitably come.
I have 2 flaming concoctions prepared, and then I can make more with the alcohol I took.
Great.
I guess we'll grab a barrel of black powder, like maybe a small one, and put it by the door we're trying to get out from, and then...
yeah, you guys are gathering up the black powder, and as you are doing so, over your shoulder, you just hear very softly getting louder. And turning around, you see one of the wigglers that was encased in the stone seems to have like wiggled itself and is in half and is pulling entrails. Seems to have like used the sharpness of the steel and has just been thrashing for so long that it loosened itself and is now dragging itself across the floor towards Reginald, who doesn't seem to have seen it yet.
I want to go hit it with my axe.
Okay, you drop the black powder that you're holding, and you grab your axe and turn to run.
Can you do that? Does it explode on impact?
Black powder is very sensitive to flame and spark, and can also be ignited by friction and impact.
Oh. Okay.
How much impact do you ignite?
What if you hand it to a friend?
I'm gonna give you an ultimatum, Cecil. If you drop this black powder and risk the explosion within this room, you can probably get to Reginald in time to keep him from being bitten by the Wiggler.
I'm pretty sure that would kill all of us.
I'll word it this way. There is a chance that it could ignite. There will be a roll involved. Otherwise, if you don't drop it, you don't think you'll get to Reginald in time. What does Cecil choose to do in this moment? As he turns and looks in slow motion, there's a Wiggler just like hand over hand crawling across the floor. You have a barrel of black powder in your hands, and you're like a good 20 feet away, and everybody else is just like, you see them in your path of vision, just like slowly turning and noticing this as well. What do you do?
I'm not going to risk an explosion, if that is the case.
Okay, you like we see again in slow motion as Cecil like has the black powder barrel and like is preparing to drop it and looks up and just kind of like clutches it closer as the Wiggler grabs Reginald's leg and bites into his ankle, and he's just like, oh heavens!
So what I'd like to do at this point, I'd like to set the barrel down.
Yeah.
And since I can't stop it from biting where he got bit, you said it bit him like on the calf or leg.
It's like biting his ankle.
I'm gonna chop off his leg at the knee.
Wait, we have other solutions!
Oh, we do. We have the quinine.
Is that what Cecil is thinking in this moment? Cecil has a particular skill.
I do. It's corpse
Dismember. Where your head went is where your head went.
That's true. That is where my head went.
Cecil rushes past all of you, axe in hand. Go ahead and make a fight check. The difficulty for this, it's on the ground and currently latched onto a person. I'm going to say the difficulty for this is going to be just a 5.
Is it, wait, are you going for the knee or the biter?
The biter, I think.
Well, I said I was going for the
you were
knee.
going for the knee.
Yeah.
That's going to make, okay, that's different. Let me make a brawn check for Reginald.
You know, I was going to be disappointed in you for not dropping the barrel because it would have been fun, but this is pretty good.
I'm a little disappointed in you.
He rolled a 2.
Oh, boy.
I think I can miss. 19.
That is
Swift.
a success by quite a lot. Yeah. Through the leg. Reginald, he just kind of like starts falling back and he's like, oh heavens!
I want to catch him and like pull him away from
Okay,
the Wiggler.
That's gonna be a flight check to have the reflex to grab and pull him away after you've just done a full swing through the leg with an axe.
Well, shouldn't I be able to describe like what my success looks like on like a success of 17 over the whatever?
Oh yeah, that roll was against his brawn to get through the leg.
Oh, okay.
This would be a separate roll to get him away from the Wiggler.
Gotcha. Okay, so a flight check, you said?
I think it would be flight check to have the reflexes to do a full follow-through swing to lop a man's leg off and then grab the same man and pull him to safety.
What's
That's quite a feat of heroism. I'm going to say the difficulty is going to be probably a 12.
I'm gonna have to explode twice.
Crazier things have happened.
It's true.
Okay.
Explode.
Hell yeah.
Explode!
Nine.
Counting that.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I'll take this.
Yeah. You lop through the leg and you turn to grab him to safety, and you see the Wiggler is already crawling up and like biting into his thigh and scratching at his torso, and he's just he like falls back onto the ground and is just like, oh heavens! What are the rest of you doing in this moment?
Can I inject the man with quinine without getting close to the thing? I want to be on
The
like.
thing is on the man.
Let's kill
I'm not gonna kill the thing.
I mean, I would argue that if you wanted to try, because like the thing is currently biting him, it's not like attacking you. If you wanted to attempt to give it a shot as if you were like sedating a patient who was having an episode, that would be something that you're skilled at.
I'll try that, I suppose.
Make a.
Oh, I get a +3 when defending prey.
Yeah, I guess this would be in the defense of everyone in the room to get this thing taken care of. So +3 plus your skilled at will give you +2 for a quick injection because it probably comes up a lot, honestly, at the hospital.
Okay.
So you'll add 5 to this roll. I'm gonna roll to see what you need to meet.
Is it a fight roll from me?
Fight roll +5. The difficulty is that explodes.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
21. Let's go!
Right.
No.
Rushing forward, you you attempt to stab the needle into this creature, but you are thrown off by how it's half a person and the eye stalks. It is at this point like it seems fully inhuman, but just like clawing with the legs or clawing with the arms. You go to stick the needle in, the needle bends and actually snaps off before you can hit the plunger, and you lose one of your brass syringes.
Yeah, just shoot it.
Yeah, make a fight check. This is plus
3
for using a pistol.
5.
They rolled a 4.
Cool.
For you, it rolls a 4.
So-
For me, it rolls a 20.
You shoot it in the back, it
Yeah.
takes 1 harm.
Cool.
Let me get this going.
I'm gonna try to slice into it with the saber.
Okay, go ahead and make a fight check. +1 for the saber, right?
Yeah, I don't wanna. It's gross.
Go ahead and tell you. It's difficulty of 6.
Okay, this is a D6 for her fights. That's a 6.
That explodes.
So it explodes, and then
Oh,
there's
keep
also the
rolling.
+1. So that's 2. So 9 total.
So that's another harm inflicted. As you rush up, and it's been shot in the back, you slash across the back of the neck, and you get mostly skin, which at this point, it like takes that slash and rolls off of Reginald, who has fallen back onto the floor and is starting to convulse. This creature, now on its back, starts to like flip over and crawl forward towards the closest person, which would be Delia. It's going to attempt to attack you. So I need you to, well, first describe to me how you attempt to resist this as it's crawling towards you and going to try and like grab and bite.
I think I'd be using the saber against it, so maybe putting it in its mouth, depending on where it's trying to bite me.
Okay, so make a fight check.
Okay.
Opposed fights. The difficulty is 10.
Do I get a +1 to fight for the saber?
Yeah.
So that's 6. Not exploded.
Is this a snap decision, or is this something
This
that we
is
can help
absolutely a snap decision.
You
And I
spend it all.
can spend it all to pass.
Okay.
I think I gotta. I'm not taking a bite from one of these things.
All right. Yeah. You get the saber in its mouth and like pull to the side as it lunges and attempts to bite at you. Like vaults itself with both arms in your direction, and you like catch it with the saber and slash out and give it another Thistlewick smile, just like cut across the cheek as it rolls again. That's gonna bring us to Cecil.
I'm gonna try
No,
to act-
actually, sorry. That's going to bring us to Fart Piss. Fart Pisser. Fart Pisser looks down and he's like, oh shit. Reaches in, pulls out a switchblade, and he's going to rush up and try and stab the creature in the head.
Holy shit, fart pisser! Like, yeah, dude.
He is a child, but he's also scrappy, so his fight is a D8.
Can we make shirts that say "Holy shit, fart pisser"?
Holy shit, fart pisser, fuck yeah.
Booty shorts.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah,
Yeah, holy shit, fart pisser. Fuck
He
yeah.
rolled. He only rolled a 2, and it was a 6. He rushes up and he like tries to stab it, but it rolls. It's like flopping all over the place and moving unnaturally. He just stabs into the ground. That's going to be Cecil.
I'm gonna try to axe the Wiggler.
Yeah, axe the Wiggler.
Or maybe I should attack
yeah,
Reginald
fart pisser.
again.
Axe that Wiggler. fart pisser.
I'm gonna axe that half Wiggler.
It's going to be 9.
17.
Yeah. Do you want to describe what it looks like as you finish off this fiend?
I just like very efficiently separate its head from the rest of its body while it's wiggling.
Absolutely. You do. The jaw continues to clack for a couple of seconds after you take the head off before finally stilling. All of you make a brains check.
It's a 9.
18.
Nice.
4.
7? Yeah, Cecil's a little distracted. He's not used to dismembering living things or like moving things quite yet.
So it's not too dissimilar from a chicken.
Yeah. The rest of you notice from the wound where the head was severed from the neck, and even from like the bottom, you see these little wiggling tendrils sticking out that just kind of like flail before falling limp after the head is severed.
Can I
It comes
inject-
from both sides, like.
Anywhere there was a wound, yeah.
Oh, like interesting. Like his torso too, like below that. Interesting.
Can I go ahead and inject Reginald's body with quarter cc's of quinine?
Yes.
Can I give him? Is he still alive?
He's like convulsing on the ground.
Oh, he's.
You rush up.
I'm skilled at medicine.
Yes.
What's that do?
Yeah, you'll get +3 from, or +2 from being skilled at medicine.
Oh, I never took one for my my attack failure. 3, 5.
4 was the difficulty.
I
Got him.
You rush up and it's just like right into the neck, a quarter syringe of quinine, and the thrashing kind of like slows, and he like, his head kind of like turns towards you and he opens his mouth, and you see as little wigglers, like a number of little tendrils kind of poke out and then go limp and kind of like drape across his cheek as he falls to the side, eyes kind of like half lidded.
I poke him with the axe.
No reaction.
So the infection kills, takes over. The quinine won't save somebody. They're too far gone. Or maybe it's getting worse now that there's these tendril things.
Wait, I didn't even see the tendrils though. So.
I would say you noticed them come out of his mouth.
Okay.
That's new.
You're not sure if it's new or if it's just you're only seeing it now in the light for the first time.
It's new to me.
This is
I
really the
pick up
first time that
his
you guys
gun.
have. This is really the first time you guys have had a second to like study a thing after you've like taken it out. Everything else has been like on the run. You haven't actually had a lot of time to like look at them. Yeah, seeing the different like stages of infection is giving you new insight. You take his rifle.
Yeah.
You can add a rifle. Rifles get +4 to fight attacks.
It's all you.
What was Octavia doing that whole time?
Oh shit, I forgot she was there. I'll say Octavia comes out from the foreman's office and she's like, I found another pistol up here. Oh heavens. Comes down, like slings the blunderbuss over her back and comes down. It's like, anyone need a revolver? I can teach you how to shoot on the road.
Okay.
It's pretty easy, just pull that hammer back, point and pull the trigger. Breathe out as you do so.
I guess I'll get a little bag of revolver bullets.
Excellent.
Right, now to blowing up a door.
Plan.
Yeah. Barrel, door.
Yeah, after all of that and the gunshot going off, there's a more fervent banging at the door, which you can see is like, it's not like bursting off of its hinges or anything, but you can see like movement to the door itself.
Maybe we should blow that door up on our way out. Like set a line of black powder to
all
like.
the time it'll take for them to come around to the other side and we can blow up the other door.
I think that's a grand idea.
So we blow up one for us to exit from that they're not at, and the one that they are at.
Right. At the same time.
What? Same time.
Right.
And then we.
Because they won't have time to make it
Right.
all the way around.
And then we take cover behind maybe that wall of steel over there. That wall of molten steel.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
Shall we set the charges?
Let's do it.
Octavia will grab a couple of casks, bring them over and kind of like pop the top off of one of them and pour a little bit of it around, and then set a full barrel next to the door that they're banging on.
I'm gonna pull some cotton apart from my first aid kit and stuff it in my ears and pass it around.
Oh, capital idea.
Octavia's like, yes, good idea. And spits on it to make it wet and a little bit more blockage.
I'll follow whatever example she's doing.
Yeah, there's like this weird vibe from Octavia, even though this is all like unheard of. She's like, feels very experienced for some reason. Like she's gone through this before.
Just like rolling with whatever happens.
Who is going to light? She'll like draw a line to the center that like connects the two of them. She's like, shall I light it from here, perhaps, and it'll go both directions?
Feels good.
Honestly, I can do it. Yes. Okay. And she takes a match. There's like a line from one black powder pile to the other, and she stands kind of closer to the door that you're exiting from, so that one will go off first. She strikes a match and lights it, and there's a loud hiss as the black powder begins to go pretty quickly. She rushes over, covers her ears with where all of you are standing. There are two explosions, one slightly before the other. We're going to make two rolls here. First, I need somebody to roll a d20 on an 11 or higher. The door that you're trying to exit from is blown open.
That was close.
I don't know if I trust you to roll it with your ones over there.
I feel like Matt's been rolling the best.
This technically is a planned action, so I'll say any adversity tokens that can be spent can be applied to this.
Okay. Here we
It's
go.
not me.
It's fine.
We're fine.
That is a 19.
19, nice. There's a blast. That door comes off its hinges and sails into the wall on the other side.
Out the window matters.
Now, the other door. Moments later, the second pile goes off in an explosion. We're going to do something similar. I'm going to have you guys roll, one of you roll a d20. On a 13 or higher, there will be an explosion, and it will take out a number of the infected as well. On a 12 or lower, there's the explosion, and the door opens, but the infected will flood in immediately. Once again, this is a planned action, so any adversity cards that you have can be played. You just need to roll a 13 on a d20.
13?
Who wants to roll it? Do you want to roll it?
I don't want to,
You don't want
but I can.
Go for it.
One of y'all needs to roll.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a 9.
Okay. We just need a 13.
I can spend these two, and that puts us at a 13.
Exactly 13.
Okay.
Excellent. Cecil, you spend your adversity tokens. We'll say you went back and checked over Octavia's work and made a few adjustments. There is the first blast. You guys don't even wait until you hear the second blast before you're already running towards the door. And as you're stepping out, you hear it behind you, and like take one quick peek in, and you don't see any rushing in immediately. And you rush off into the streets with Octavia as well as Fart Pisser coming with you, and are heading back towards St. Clair Manor.
TBD.
Figured out, I guess
Yeah,
so.
that's,
All right.
that's the current plan.
Excellent.
Also, you've just been told that your father is allegedly there.
All right. And that is where we'll pick up next time on Top Hats and Tombstones. Ooh, that was crazy.
You feed me real food. I mean, as much as we're able to eat as well, yes. But you could leave the island with us.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat rich folks no more.
Are his pants currently shitty?
Make a
Luck check.
make a luck check. Yeah.
Make a diaper check.
You call her forward. Leave the ammunition. Leave fart pisser. We'll let the rest of you walk, and we'll take care of her ourselves. Nigel snaps his fingers, and you see the window directly across from him on the 3rd floor slides up, and you see about 3 little soot-covered children pull the curtains and pull forward Dr. Angus Blair, who has a gag tied in his mouth. You give us what we want, we'll deliver the doctor to you nice and safe. If not, he's going out that fucking window.
It's your father. You decide.
Nigel calls out, all right, here we go, and snaps both of his fingers this time. You see as 2 alarm clocks are tossed out from the 2nd floor of the window and begin ringing on their way down and hit the floor. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw and you want even more Arcanarama goodness, you can head over to patreon.com/Arcanarama, where the low price of $5 gets you access to a whole host of content, like the Chaos Hours, our post-show talkback, where we chat with each other about the things that happened in the episode and give you a peek behind the Dungeon Master's screen. The Guardians of the Phoenix podcast, where it all began, as well as monthly art drops with character art that you can use in your own games at home. The $5 tier gets you access to all of those goodies, but there's also a $3 tier if you simply want to be noticed by your senpais. So without further ado, huge shout out to all of this month's Patreon supporters. Definitely Not Sam, Scott Shear, Nita Yilva, Eric Firm, Freya Odensdottir, Robin Stone, Tina Holt, and Al. See you in the next one.